are you doing?
Good, how are you?
All right, so tell me, because I know who you are, but some people might not, because you are the name, your face, you're the voice behind the CMI content handles on social media. So what do you do?
So that's funny because I am not the voice and not the face because I think that's Joe Palizzi. But when you're talking social media, yes, I am the face behind the handle. So I am the community manager. So I am in charge of all of our platforms that are social media. So that would be our Facebook page, our SlideShare, our Twitter, our Pinterest. Instagram. Exactly, Instagram, which I love. So I'm sure I'm forgetting a few others, but yes.
Yeah, what about Snapchat?
No Snapchat. Yeah. You got to be where your audience is, and our audience is not on Snapchat.
There. Unless they're testing it themselves.
Yes, absolutely. We tested Periscope this week, though, which was fantastic. We had a lot of fun with it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit how you got started and what you do.
So long story short, I actually have a television news background.
Nice.
So I was in television news for about 11, 12 years. And I loved it. I loved storytelling, I loved writing, I loved every minute that I was in TV. But I noticed the shift from TV, how it was when I first started to where it was afterwards, after my career. So when I had an opportunity to move over to the Cleveland Clinic, I jumped on it. But even at that point, I was still doing media relations. So I did social media as a hobby.
Okay.
So at the TV station, when they still had webmasters, an entire team, I would help the webmaster out with social media because it was something that was not a priority for the TV stations.
Yeah.
Same thing at the Cleveland Clinic. At that point, with healthcare, you have a lot of regulations. You have HIPAA. So over at the Cleveland Clinic, I would assist with the Twitter account, and marketing would have, so media relations had Twitter and marketing would have Facebook. There was no communication between the two. There was no strategy behind the two.
It's almost like they should probably work under the same umbrella. And then you went to CMI, right?
I did.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about that journey, because most of us know CMI, and it's like, it's this graduation level. We're excited about, the people who get to work there and the stuff that you guys get to do, because you're, in our eyes, you're at the top. You're like,
well, thank you.
People who preach content marketing.
Thank you.
Right?
No, I got very lucky. I feel very fortunate to work for Joe and to have such a talented team with me. I got lucky because I ended up working at some point during an agency side. So I worked with a lot of brands, and it was time for me. It was just time to move on. And this opportunity opened up. Joe reached out to me, which was great. And I can't say enough. Before, in its infancy, CMI would have this mindset where they didn't have a strategy for social. They didn't have a content calendar for social. So basically, a blog post would be published, immediately sent up an email, and then it was on Facebook and Pinterest and LinkedIn and Twitter. And that serves no purpose for a brand, because if you have the same message going out to your audience at the same time, there's no incentive for them to follow you anywhere else.
Yeah.
So that's why I was brought in.
That's awesome. So tell us a little bit about like the day-to-day, because you come out of your session and immediately you're like, hold on, I got to go to social, and because you've always got stuff going on.
Well, I start twitching when I don't have my phone.
Exactly.
If I don't check Twitter or Facebook, because we're really lucky to have a really engaged audience. Mm-hmm. So our audience, our community, it includes people who participate in our Twitter chats or just people who follow us, religiously, which is fantastic. Mm-hmm. But it also is our influencers who have supported us. And because they've supported us, we want to support them. So I try to be, even though we're not really customer service, we're not like a B2C brand, I still would like to be able to, just like a friend would call, if you're not available, I want to be able to respond right away as soon as I can. So my day-to-day, it really is, I'm the first person at CMI to know if someone's had a baby, or if someone got bitten, and these are real examples, like if someone got bitten by a dog and can't go to work for 2 weeks. I'm the first person to know because I'm the first line of defense with social media. And that I feel like I'm really lucky to do because that's what I do. It's not just amplification, it's not just distributing the content that CMI has, but it's also engaging and fostering the relationships that we have with people.
Yeah, and I love you have the news background, because that's the spirit of the news, right? To be able to tell engaging stories that just happened.
Yes.
And when you have a marketing background, it's more of, how do I use social to be my amplification, to be my megaphone, right? I just publish something, email, megaphone, publish something, email, megaphone, right? But you think it differently. You think it's
I think it's a complete cycle.
Exactly.
It really is. It's kind of like the purchase funnel, right? So once you distribute it and then you amplify it, you want to engage the people. But you know what? As a marketer, you have to think about also conversion. So whether that's having them subscribe to an email, having them, download a podcast, having them, subscribe to your magazine, whatever it is, there's still a conversion. There's an endpoint to our funnel.
Yeah, and interacting with the brand, you do a great job of interacting with the influencers, because I see so many people failing in this area where they leave their influencers out, and that's just going to put a bad taste in someone's mouth so quickly, and they will.
And it's hard to gain them back after that.
Exactly.
But at the same time, with respect to that, you could see someone who is completely angry at your brand. And you can actually, when you respond to them and you engage with them, you can turn that person to an advocate so easily.
Absolutely.
So, it's a good balance and it's a good way. Social media is such a great way to be able to make both work.
And it's hard to, even as a marketer, somebody does something to you and you immediately just want to go to social media and just go, boom, I did it last week. And, within 30 seconds, the director of marketing emailed me and I calmed down. I took the tweets down, and it was one of those things, but that's just how we want to respond now with social media.
Well, I mean, it's a human thing, right?
Yeah.
It's a human thing. We all, at the basic level, we all want to connect with someone. And even if you're connecting with a brand, I think everyone realizes that there's a person behind that handle.
Exactly.
So if you have a complaint, you really want someone to just listen to you and take that into your concerns into consideration. So I think at the same time, when you're really happy about something, you want someone to celebrate that with you, and that's why you go to social and you tweet it, or you post on Facebook about the brand. It's just all about making that connection.
Awesome. Well, to spare some of your time, I want to ask you, what are 3 tips you would give a marketer who's maybe doing social bad, or looking to do community building and start that as an extension of what they're already doing?
So I think probably 3 things. Create a channel plan. I think once you have some kind of strategy in place, it's easier to follow it. So our channel plan we look at every 6 months, because you never know if your audience has changed. You never know if even the platform could change. The algorithms change so quickly, and I'm not saying to chase algorithms because that's not something I do. But if there's features on Twitter that used to be there and they've now taken it away, you have to reevaluate that. You have to adapt. So I think a channel plan is really important and reevaluating it. A second one is, I really like testing things. Don't be afraid to fail. So try something out. Whether it's using Periscope, or maybe it's these different different language or copy for your post. Try them, see what happens, test them, monitor your results, and then just really leverage your successes. My third one, actually, so there's an attendee here, and it's my favorite line. It really is. The attendee says that basically, his name's Martin, and Martin told me, your post really should be about knowing the difference of using a question mark or a period at the end. A question mark, the conversation continues with your audience. A period, conversation stops, and then your consumer goes away. So really know the difference between a question mark and a period, and just really engage your audience.
Exactly. I think that's the key word right there. And I think that's the word for 2016 in content marketing is engagement.
Well,
right?
It's being authentic.
Yeah.
That's what it is. And again, it's about you engage people because you want that connection.
Oh yeah, exactly. All right, well, I think our time's up because I just flashed the lights at us. So thank you for joining us, and I can't wait to bring you back on the show, maybe after Intelligent Content Conference, and talk about all this stuff again.
I love it.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.